What I mean when I see, what I see, what I feel, when I dream, when I be, I'm a freak. What up? Oh, what up? Everybody look at me when I'm free, when I feel what I see, when I do it, I'm a freak. What up? Oh, what up? Say what we got, it's hot to spot, give up the drop, see what we got, do what, do what? We got to go, the body flow, too hot to show, the front row, we won't stop.
You get ready to groove, it's the tech-savvy way. With gadgets and gear, light up by day. Boot up the systems, check all the lines. We're the tech-savvy crew, always on time. From software to hardware, we know it all. When there's a problem, yeah, we answer the call. We design, we connect, we make it all smooth. With every click and turn, we find our groove. Setting up the streams, making it fly. With the tech-savvy touch, we reach for the sky. We got the tech-savvy groove, making it flow. From the studio to live shows, watch us go. With keyboards and cables, we're in the zone. Creating magic right from our home. Check the bandwidth, sync up the sound. Every pixel perfect, quality profound. With eyes on the screen and hands on the keys, we troubleshoot swiftly with expertise. We're the wizards of tech with the digital beat, making sure every moment is smooth and sweet. From the planning phase to the final cut, we keep it seamless, no ifs or buts. We got the tech-savvy groove, making it flow. From the studio to live shows, watch us go. With keyboards and cables, we're in the zone. Creating magic right from our home. We got the update in every new tool. We stay ahead, playing it cool. Innovation's our rhythm, tech is our muse. In the digital world, we never lose. We got the tech-savvy groove, making it flow. From the studio to live shows, watch us go. With keyboards and cables, we're in the zone. Creating magic right from our home. So let's keep the groove, keep it alive. With every broadcast, we thrive. With the tech-savvy crew leading the way, bringing dreams to life every single day. Yeah, digital maestro in the house, check it, I'm the digital maestro, master of the flow. Tech in my veins, watch the magic grow. With my fingers on the keys, I orchestrate the beat. From the screen to the scene, bringing heat. Switching, mixing, fixing, making it right. Streaming, dreaming, beaming all through the night. Coding, loading, showing, making it tight. I'm the maestro, in control, taking flight. Digital maestro, conductor of the stream, turning tech into music, making dreams. With my gear and my grind, I'm supreme, bringing visions to life, it's the ultimate dream. Check the level, set the pace, keep it smooth. Every frame, every bite in the groove. With my laptop, I'm the king of the show. Lights, camera, action, let it flow. Editing, directing, projecting the scene. Creating, innovating, the best you've seen. Syncing, linking, thinking so clean. Digital maestro, living the dream. Digital maestro, conductor of the stream, turning tech into music, making dreams. With my gear and my grind, I'm supreme, bringing visions to life, it's the ultimate dream. From the first idea to the final play, I'm the one who makes it happen day by day. With precision and skill, I lead the way. Digital maestro, here to stay. Upgrading, staging, engaging the crowd. Innovating, creating, we're making it loud.
Audio issues. Anyway, now I'm live.
Hello, folks. Welcome
This is
to
great.
a special edition and a special.
That was a little preview of what I was going to show. I was actually going to show our friends live right now. There's a lot of cool stuff today. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I have a feeling that some of you are watching two different videos in two different browser tabs. Correct me if I am wrong. Mute. Yeah, I know. It happened. It actually was my microphone that kind of died out on me. So Anyway, Ecamm is my jam. That's absolutely correct. This Ecamm, I love it. And I know a lot of you guys love it too. And today is a special day, not just for people who are Ecamm fam members, but more importantly, for us to welcome new Ecamm fam members. I want to make sure that Ecamm Live is the software, live streaming, recording, podcasting, content creation platform around the globe. Now, Ecamm Live is already around the globe, but there's just so much more room for helping creators to do what they need to do and just focus on creating the content without all of the tech challenges, without all of the troubleshooting, without all of the, how do I do that? How do I make things show up? How do I do something like this? Like, how do I do all that type of stuff, right? Ecamm Live is hands down the easiest live streaming, recording, podcasting, content creation platform that I know of, and I've tried a lot of them, and I know that many of you have also tried a bunch of them. So I can see a lot of friends here. We got, oh, look at that. There are more mods than viewers. You know what? Sarcasmo. Actually, you are pretty much correct. There are a lot of people who are watching us right now. But here's the thing. There is something really cool that's happening. I'm not telling you what it is right now, but we got something cool happening inside of Ecamm, where basically Ecamm is launching a program called the Content Launchpad, and it's really to help creators to shine, to be able to take their vision, their concept from vision into reality, and they're helping them along the entire way over a full year. So imagine having a company full of passionate creators just like you, backing you all the way. Well, that's what Ecamm Live has created, and I don't see that in any other software company, so me. Anyway, so today I am here to show you about Ecamm Live, to kind of go through how does this thing work? How do you get started? The first thing, I'm going to say right now is you have to understand that Ecamm Live is for Mac computers. It is not for Windows machines. It is not for Linux. It is not for iPads, Apple Watches, or iPhones. It doesn't work on those. Can you bring them in? Absolutely. But you do need a Mac to make that all work. So I just want to kind of get that over with and just let you know that's what is required. Now, having said that, if you are a Windows user, believe me, I have trained many Windows users, and they have all switched over to the Mac to be able to use Ecamm Live. So believe me, it's possible. You're going to love it. So let's get cracking on some things here. Ecamm Live, I'm just going to show you this interface here. This is by default what Ecamm Live looks like. So after you do your first installation, and it's as easy as downloading the zip file from ecamm.com, downloading that and unzipping the file and then moving it over to your applications folder. Now, if you guys are looking for a discount on Ecamm Live, there's a link in the YouTube description below. Go ahead and click that, grab your discount, and then we'll get started. I've got a lot of content online, and so do all of my other Ecamm fam friends and colleagues. We just love it so much that we've created all the content for you, ready and available at any YouTube search or click. We also have a lot of programs and stuff like that available. But getting back to this is what Ecamm Live looks like out of the box. We've got a bunch of different frames, and I'm going to call them panels. So you can see here's a scenes panel, here's a sound levels panel, here's an overlays panel, and so forth. And all of these different panels create and offer different features inside of Ecamm Live. Now, do you have to know everything? Do you have to remember everything or learn how each and every single one of these items works before you can actually start using Ecamm Live? Well, the answer is, it's up to you, but you don't have to. You can actually just get started by understanding two primary concepts of Ecamm Live. The first concept here, I wonder if my Zoom works. No, it didn't work. Okay. The first concept that you need to understand is that Ecamm Live is basically a system or an application which allows you to create videos by bringing in sources like your video cameras, your web cameras, also different types of audio sources, overlays, videos, and sources, puts that all together and broadcasts that over the internet through live streaming platforms such as YouTube that you're on, LinkedIn, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, all of these different types of platforms, and it does it flawlessly. It does it extremely, extremely well. So why would you want to do something like that? Well, hands down right now, how do you think I sound and look? Do I look all right? Okay, let's talk about my video, not me. Okay, the video. Does it look all right? Does it sound all right? How is the experience? Does this look professional? When you saw the video that I played during the countdown, did it look professional, or did it look like every regular old type of live stream that you've seen other people do, where maybe the video's not so great, maybe the audio's not so great, and they don't really know, have any overlays. They're just kind of talking. Well, Ecamm Live allows us to do these types of things, such as adding comments like this, like putting a Q in front of your question, right? Helps us to understand that it's a question and not a comment. Adding those types of overlays, Ecamm Live will allow you to do that. So that's the first concept that you need to understand. The second concept is that how you do that is by playing numerous amounts of different types of scenes. And a scene, imagine, is kind of like a picture. How do you want the picture to look like? Do you want the picture to be just this camera? This could be one scene. Example, another scene is this one. That's another scene with a countdown and a video playing. And then there are different types of scenes as well, such as this scene here, which is my other computer system running Ecamm Live and showing you the demo. There's another scene here, which is basically a layout that has my video camera on one side as well as this question from Matt on the other side, right? Is this a green screen background? It is not green screen, man. It is real. Like, see, I can go ahead and touch plants and stuff. So, how do I get it, Chris? Well, it's a combination of just knowing how to use proper cameras and, most importantly, lighting. I tell my clients every day, it's not about the camera or the price of the camera. It's all about the lighting. Once you get the lighting right, chef's kiss, amazing things come out of that. So that's a really good question, Matt. So yeah, definitely not a green screen. So once you now understand that, Ecamm Live will help you to add things such as this and so forth on your scenes, and now those are different scenes. Inside of each of those scenes is an overlay or an asset. So as an example, this scene here has multiple assets. It has 3 assets, and the first asset is this video that you see me in. The second asset is this comment overlay, and the third asset is this orange image background that you see. So if I used an analogy about scenes versus overlays, I would use something like this. I would say a scene is kind of like the picnic basket. Okay, now you can have multiple different picnic baskets at your picnic. However, you can only use one at a time. And inside of each picnic basket is our different types of cheese, maybe a couple different kinds of wine, some meats and some vegetables and some celery sticks and tomatoes and different types of dips. All of those different things inside of your picnic basket, those are the overlays. These are all of the assets that you can add. Now, you can make things very simple and have very few types of overlays and assets in your scenes, or you can go a little bit more advanced and add a whole bunch of different things to make it look your brand. That's the whole thing, right? You want your video, you want your live streams, you want your recorded content and courses to look on brand. So by adding different types of assets, whether it be images that you've created, whether it be animated videos or GIFs or videos that you're playing, all of those things, if they're on brand for you and inside of your Ecamm Live production, then you will totally be on brand with everything there. So for example, this here, I'm just going to mute this. This here is an actual scene that has multiple different assets on it. But because I originally had this on one of my trainings, I reused it for here because this is part of my brand. Except I did change the logo over to your right corner, my top left corner there, which is the Ecamm Fam logo, and then a countdown timer. So this type of stuff allows you to really make a difference in your productions. This type of look allows your viewers, your attendees, your clients, and your customers to say, oh my gosh, that is amazing. I want some of that. Or this person's professional. This person knows what they're doing. This person has invested in their communications method. I've got to follow this person, or I've got to, do some business with the person or reach out and get in touch with them. So that's why you really want to start using Ecamm Live to be able to do all of those professional things that the professionals do. However, secret It's not going to cost you $1 million. You don't need a team of 20, and it's super, super simple. You can literally learn Ecamm Live in a matter of 49 minutes. And I'm also going to have some Q&A in there as well. All right, so let's get cracking here. I'm going to switch over to my demonstration machine here. This is my MacBook Pro M2 Max. It's a wonderful little machine and does everything that I'm going to want to do. So the first thing you want to do is you can look at your scenes panel up here. Now, as you see, it says default scene, and the default scene is this camera that you see. That's it, just the one camera. Now, if you do have multiple cameras, you can always switch the scenes and make your scenes look different depending upon if you want camera views or side angles or so forth, or even overhead cameras. We have a lot of people who do like cooking shows or different types of hobbies where they need an overhead camera or a back end camera where it's looking at their canvas and they're painting or drawing. So you can add multiple cameras to your Ecamm productions. But I'm just going to show you the basics of what you need to kind of get started on your scenes. So by default, the first item here is your camera. Right? So most of the time, you're just going to have a full screen camera. Now, let's say that I want to kind of brand it a little. So I want to actually start adding, where do I have it? Oh, I don't have it here. I'm gonna add like my name, for example. So in this scene here, I'm gonna go into the overlay section, and then I'm gonna go ahead and click on the new text overlay option. So I can say, there's my name. And you can also, if you wanted to, you could put in different emojis as well. And when you're doing that, you can go ahead and select the text and change and customize the font based on, again, your brand. So if you're always using a certain type of font in your productions, then you're going to go ahead and change that font. So let's just use something like this one. All right, so now that you can see here, I've got this one overlay, and when I hover above it, my cursor turns into a little hand that I can actually drag and move this. So most people have something like this. It's just called a lower third, and you can go ahead and make some adjustments if you want, make that little background bigger. And so by default, this is it. So imagine you just went over on a live stream or you recorded your content and you said, hey, everybody, thanks so much for joining me on today's live stream. My name is Daniel Chi. Here is my name right over here. That looks extremely professional. Now, I should actually also say, you don't have to live stream. You don't have to do it over YouTube or even recorded content. You can actually do this straight through Zoom as well. And that's one of the really cool things. So you can go into a Zoom meeting or a Zoom webinar and produce this exact same content, which is going to, I guarantee you, wow your audience. I have had so many people after my Zoom sessions come to me and say, how did you do that? I need to know. And I say, hey, great, let's connect. Kind of give them the basics of it, and then I sell them as a client, right? Because that's part of what I do is teaching people how to do this type of stuff. So that is this overlay here. And now I can leave this as it is because the next scene that I want to do is now instead of a full screen camera, I actually want to make it a little bit different. I want to add that orange background, which is my color, my brand color. So if I go into the scene, so now I'm creating a new picnic basket. I'm going to call this one, it's going to be called Me Framed. I got framed. And I can change the source to blank. So now all of a sudden there is no camera source on this canvas, on this scene itself. But now I can drag over a camera. And you can see that all of a sudden I have the ability to make adjustments into the size, the placement, the format, and all that stuff. So if I want to do this and make it centered, now all of a sudden you can see that my video has a black bordered background around my video. Now, if I want my video to stand out a little bit, I can go ahead and add a colored border. And I was talking earlier about orange being my color, but I'm going to add a white border to this one. And I do want that background to be orange instead of just plain black here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a shape overlay. So I'm going to go click on that. And all I have to do is cover my face. Now, all I have to do is double click on this and change the color. So I'd like that to be the orange color, and I don't want any rounded edges on it. And I'm going to drag it into the corner and then basically open it all the way around so that it now covers the entire canvas. But I'm back here. I'm over here. How do I change this? Well, just like you're doing many different other types of layer-based applications, you can see here in the overlays, I actually put the rectangle overlay above the camera overlay. So if I drag the rectangle to below, now all of a sudden you can see that my camera is now centered on this layout. It's got the white border and an orange background. I am now truly getting on brand. This is what Ecamm is all about. You can now create these stunning custom-based looks and designs for all of your videos. So imagine, if you were taking a course from someone and they just had this. It's not bad. I would say it's pretty good. Let me just expand this for y'all so you can see this. It's not bad. It's pretty good, right? But if all of a sudden they could have their course and program that looks something like this, and maybe I want to go ahead and add my name, so I'm just going to copy that over. I can go ahead and add my name in the bottom corner as well. And so now I'm fully on brand with all of my content. And this is what really was going to start you down the path of an addictive path of looking better, sounding better, and really creating customized content for your target market, for your ideal client avatars. So you can create something like this. You can also go ahead and create a screen share. So for example, let's just say that I was going to, hold on, how am I going to do this one? Wait, let me switch something up. All of a sudden, I need to do something. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go to YouTube and hold on. I'm just making some changes on this laptop. YouTube, and then I'm going to go over to find this YouTube account. It's some really cool people that are on this channel, and there is a live stream that I know of. And so if I were to go ahead and create this as an overlay, I'm going to add screen share. Oh, wow. Hey, look at that. Who's this over here? So this is a screen share overlay. So you can, if I reduce this, you can see that it's actually just a browser playing. However, I'm hiding back here and I don't necessarily want to stand on the side. I mean, I could technically do it this way and then do my commentary and live, here we go, hold on. I can technically do something like this and go live and do commentary videos, right? I can do this and I can go ahead and let the audio play.
About the imposter syndrome, we can get over that and help people actually be better presenters, better on stage.
Right? So you can do little cool features like this, or you can go ahead and, again, add your own videos, your own actual camera itself, and then in the background, we would just hide that by going blank and then adding another different type of an overlay that's back there. So just wanted to let you know that screen sharing options, different things like that are all possible inside of Ecamm Live. It just depends on how you are, how your vision is on what you want to create. And then from there, it's like, how do I use the different types of assets inside of Ecamm Live to do that? So let me close that. Let me close that. All right, back to the Ecamm demo machine. I'm going to actually take a look at a few different questions that are here. Let's see what we've got. If other people have questions. Let's see. Oh yeah, by the way, people are in Boston right now, Amesbury in Massachusetts for Creator Camp. I can't wait. I'm leaving on Monday morning. Gonna have a great time down there. Let's see, who else is there? Brandy's from the West Coast. Thank you so much for joining us. Rapiendo is in Boston in the house. Okay, got a question. Is this a green screen? We already answered that question. Is this a green screen? Da, 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 da. All right. So Rider Coach Corner says, I see your audio levels are all at 100%. Is this what you recommend? Others suggest 80 to start. So it's a really good question. In fact, I generally do leave my audio channels at 80%. It's just that this machine that you're looking at right now is a dummy machine. So I did actually decrease this down there, but typically I would leave them for the most part in and around that 80 to 90% mark. Now, why some people may be asking is because you cannot make something that is loud or that is being heard louder than what it is. So what you want to do is you want your Ecamm Live production to have a little bit of that wiggle room. And that wiggle room is actually the source audio that's coming in. As long as it's loud, as long as it's at the right gain, then in Ecamm Live, you can give it the rest of the boost that it needs to. You see, if you've got 3 audio sources coming in and one of those sources is soft, then that means the other 2 are going to be loud. So when those 2 sources are playing, people are like, oh, this is great. And then the third one, what? I can't hear it. And then they increase the audio on that third audio source, and then all of a sudden the first 2 are loud. So by doing that type of a thing where you're adjusting your audio levels, yeah, 100%, you can do that. So really, really, really good question. Let's see. Can you show us how you did the screen share scene, please? Greetings from Ireland. Irish Wrestle Talk. Oh, I was literally talking to somebody the other day about wrestling, and man, I used to love wrestling so much. Okay, so how I did the screen share. So there's 2 different ways of doing it, and I know I'm going off tangent a little bit, so I will get back on track, I promise. But what you're going to do essentially is one of 2 options. I can go ahead and go into live screen demo mode here, but as you can see on my screen itself, I can't really show you how to record. I can't do certain things without messing up this live stream, because Ecamm Live, once it's going live, it's like you can't change. I can't go to a different profile. I can't make certain things. So what I've actually done is I've set up a second computer system. This is my laptop, and I have the HDMI video output going to my capture card, and then that's coming in as another video source inside of Ecamm Live. So what this does is it allows me to go ahead and hit record and do all that type of stuff without messing up my live stream. So this is what I do all the time when I am showing live demonstrations, simply because there are some aspects that I want to be able to show you but can't when I'm actually live or already recording. So super duper question. Very good. Love wrestling. I'm going to check your channel out for sure. All right, let's go back to this demonstration here. So you can see all of a sudden that I have this one person scene. It's on brand. It's got my orange color. It's got my name and everything to it. Now, there are other ways. Again, you can also add scenes where I showed you with the shared screen. So if you've got multiple displays or different applications that you want to display and share on your in the scene itself, you're going to create a special scene with that type of look and design. There are other scenes that I would always recommend that you create as a startup creator, as a starting user of Ecamm, because at one point in time, it is inevitable that you are going to bring on a guest. So let me show you real quickly how you would do that. So I can say me plus guest here, and this is the full screen video of me. Now I can go ahead, I'm just going to enable the guest positions here. I can go ahead and simply go into my camera switcher, and I can say add guest 1 side by side. What you'll see is this is 2 full screen cameras. Myself, this is my own video source, plus this blank placeholder over here is whoever I bring on in either interview mode or in Ecamm for Zoom, and I assign them the guest 1 placeholder. I like to use this format and function a lot because it's super quick and super simple. I don't necessarily have to be on brand when I'm using, for most of my clients, they don't really care for that. So this is a super simple, easy way to create the scene. And you can see that it literally took about 3 seconds, took me longer to explain it to you. And you can go ahead and add other guests as well. You can go, 3 guests, and all of a sudden it's a little bit thinner for each and every single one of us. And you can go ahead and add that 4th guest. Now it's going to be 4 16:9 video feeds. So myself plus the other guests. So this is a really easy way for you to do multi-person scenes. However, you may want to, again, go back to the branded side of things. So if here I just reset this and go back to a single camera scene, I can change the source to blank. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my camera source over here because I'll always be on the actual scenes itself. And I can move it around and kind of visualize, okay, I think, I'm going to have myself and a guest, but I'd like to both be in wide format. So I can do this, and I can hit Command C on my keyboard and then Command V as in Victor. And then all of a sudden, a second overlay appears. And now I've got 2 videos. Now, I'm not in stereoscopic vision. However, that would be kind of cool. I'd like to try that if somebody can do that. But what you're going to do here is you're going to switch this over to guest 1 or a different camera placeholder, so that when you have a guest come in, all of a sudden what's going to happen is when you add their video source into Ecamm Live and assign them the guest placeholder 1, their video is going to show up automatically on this side of the screen. And all you have to do in order to get that branding back, remember that orange background? If I go back into this scene here, I can simply select the lower third overlay, the one this overlay over here. I can go ahead and select that and drag that into the other scene. When I drag that in there, now my name is there. And so the exact same concept. If I'm selecting it, it's got this little white overlay around it, or border. I can Command C, and then I can Command V for Victor, and then I can drag it under this other person here. And let's just say this is Pat Jones. So every time I now switch into this scene with Pat, myself, everybody knows who we are, and we can go from there. But what about that orange background? The exact same thing. We can go over to this other overlay or this other scene, drag that overlay in, and then either move it down here, or better yet, if I know that all of my scenes will have this orange overlay, there's this orange background, excuse me. There are 3 sections if you look carefully at the overlays area here. There's one section that's called Show in All Scenes, another section that says Show in Current Scene, and then a third section that says Show in Background. So if I took this orange rectangle and I moved it to Show in Background, that orange rectangle is now going to be displayed in every single scene that I have. So if I went into this guy over here and I deleted it, you can see the orange is still there because it's now going to be displayed in every single scene that I create. This is nice to be easy for you to keep on brand. Let's say you have a moving video background, or let's say you have a special image that you want to be shown all the time. Instead of copying it to every single of the umpteen scenes that you have, you can quickly and easily just leave that in the section where it says Show in Background. Now again, this could be a video, it could be an image, it could be a shape from Ecamm Live as well. So that's up to you on how you want to do that. But the key concept here is now that you've done that, it is in every single scene that is showing. Now the same thing happens in the Show in All Scenes area in the overlays. This is usually a place where you will add some sort of a graphic, like a logo or something like that. So if I were wanting to put a logo in the top right corner, I can put that in Show in All Scenes, and no matter what scene that I actually I'm displaying, it's going to show that scene or that logo in the top corner. Now, sometimes you can see here in this scene here, sometimes my clients and people are not really keen on having 2 small wide format videos. If you're looking on a mobile, I'm super tiny. If you're on a desktop, it looks fine. So there is a feature in Ecamm Live that allows you to quickly and easily change the shape of these overlays. So when you click on the little pencil icon, so by the way, every overlay or asset that you have on inside of the scene, there's going to be a little pencil icon that appears whenever you hover over that overlay. So what I want you to do is you want to click on the little pencil icon. All of the design options appear for that overlay, and I can change the shape of it from this normal wide 16:9 format, which is a typical camera format of today, and as well as most displays, or I can go to the old 4:3 size, and you'll notice that as I drag it, it always stays in that 4:3 format. Or I can turn it into a square or a circle. A lot of people like these. The circles is totally cool as well. And then I remember when we added this thing called the squircle. That was kind of fun. That was neat. And then this is the one that is, sorry, no, this is tall. This is usually if you're doing mobile formats, but this is the fun one, the custom one. The custom will always keep your center of the video in the center regardless of the height or the width of the video itself. So you can see as I am changing the shape of this, it looks like I'm getting a massage, but as I'm changing the shape of it, my video is always going to stay in the center. So if you look at my nose, it's always pretty much going to stay in the center. So this is where I like to go ahead and increase the size so that it's filling most of the screen. And all I have to do here now is move that into the center. Now I can go ahead and try to do the exact same thing. I was literally just talking to somebody before this live stream. I can try to do the exact same thing and see, okay, well, here we go. That looks about the same size, but I'm going to guess that the one on the right is actually a little bit bigger. So let's see. There you go. And, my brain just doesn't like that. So what I like to do is I like to delete that. And again, select on any asset or overlay, Command-C, Command-V. So copy and paste. Or for the risky and adventurous people, you can hold down the Option key, click and drag that window or that object, and it will duplicate that object. Now this second overlay is the exact same size as the first one. And that way, everything is going to say pixel perfect. It's going to, look really good. So the only thing, again, you just want to switch over to the guest one placeholder and center everything up. And now all of a sudden, you are ready to bring on guests in full live gloriousness. So the only thing you have to make sure is that when you bring them on, that they are actually centered. Because there are some times, if you've ever seen this, where you bring somebody in on Zoom and they look like this on Zoom. And it's like, no, okay, center your camera. Oh, okay, here. No, a little bit the other way. Yeah, oh, a little bit this way. Okay, yeah, now you're centered. Now, move your laptop screen down so that it's pointing a little bit more down towards your chest. Okay, sure. No, other way, it's too much. Okay, great. This is the perfect placement that you would want them to be in, right? So you want them to be in that top third, centered on the screen. So by making sure that your guests are centered, you're not going to get those weird, this person is sitting on the side of this screen, of this dual person view here, right? A little bit of a tip for you when you're doing live streams or recorded content with your guests. The key is always keep them in the center as much as possible. Now you can always make some minor adjustments with the camera effects inside of Zoom itself, inside of Ecamm itself, but it's not always, the easiest or best. So for example, if I'm clicking on, which one is this one? This one's Cam Link. So if I click on the Cam Link, I can, if I had to make an adjustment where I needed to zoom in, I can go ahead here, click on the Cam Link in the camera effects window and zoom in and then kind of pan around a little bit. So this is a virtual zoom. Now, because I have a 4K camera and I'm using a lower resolution stream, I can zoom in without the loss of any pixels or resolution. However, if you don't have that option, and if you don't even know what I'm talking about, completely forget what I'm talking about. But the more you digitally zoom in, the more pixelated things are going to get, the more quality you're actually going to lose. So just do keep that in mind. Actually physically move a camera forward or backward, depending upon how you want that person to be seen, and that might have to be done on their side. All right, let's go back to some questions. I hope people are seeing and kind of learning maybe a couple new things if you're brand new. So let's see here. By the way, if you guys have any questions, make sure that you let me know, right? Put a Q in the comments. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Put a Q in front of your question, and that way we know it's a question and not a comment, okay? Hey, George, what's going on? How you doing? Oh, okay, Matt has another question. What's the camera and lighting setup like? Well, that's a secret. Actually, it's not a secret. I can show you if I have... No, I cannot show you right now. Basically, I have my laptop in front of me. See, if I disconnect my phone, I'm gonna lose it. You know what? Forget it. I'm gonna lose it anyway. Let's attach my phone, and then everybody can see what's going on in this studio here. Camera, and wonder if I can do it. If you want to see my studio, let me know. Put it in the comments. Say yes, please. India HX camera. Let me know, let me know, let me know. Okay, here we go. Maybe, hopefully this is going to work. Okay, I think this is good. I think this is going to work. I'm going to switch over to my handheld camera. And no, how come it's not there? Well, I wish I could show you, but unfortunately I can't. So let me just verbally explain to you what things are looking like. I've got my laptop in front of me, but typically on my production studios, I have 3 displays plus a teleprompter. So right now I'm looking at you in my teleprompter. Below that is a 24-inch screen. So if I'm looking at the screen, just looking just below the teleprompter camera itself. That camera, I use all of my Ecamm Live interface, and if I'm bringing people on Zoom, I use that there because I'm always looking forward. The other 2 displays, I'm bringing on assets, whether it's a video or a presentation or PowerPoint or a Google slide, it's on there. But in terms of the camera side of things, I'm using a Sony ZV-E10. On that camera is my 24mm f1.8. I can't remember. It starts with a V. I can't remember. It starts with a V, but it's a really, really good Sony E-mount lens. So f1.8 24mm. The camera is about 5 feet away, so that's why I'm using the 24mm lens on it. And then I have a series of lights around my studio. So I've got an Elgato key light, which is just 45 degrees to my left, 45 degrees up. That is the key light, and that one is, I'm using that as my fill. So if I turn that off, you can see that now all of a sudden things have just gotten dark and very Halloween-like. But I use that as my fill. On this side, I've got a 42-inch softbox Godox 200 by 200 bi, I think. And it's literally, because it's 200 watts, it's actually only at around 11% or 9% right now, and that's my main key light. And then I've got some lights in the background. So the one that's washing out the background here, that is a Amaran P60C. And if I turn that off, you'll notice it doesn't look like, it looks like the green screen's gone, or the green screen effect. So that's without any lighting on the background, which, you know, it's neither here nor there. It looks pretty good with it. I like it. It's kind of like a little bit of more of a circular focus to kind of give more of a glow on this side and a little bit more of that vignetting. And then I've got a hair light, and the hair light is also another Elgato key light. So that's no hair light, and that is with it. So it's close to, I would say, like a 3-point camera, 3-point lighting setup. But I've got a couple of other lights, obviously, that fill things out. So, but when you have the right lighting, that's where your video is crisp. That's why things look really sharp, and to the point where people are thinking that I'm actually on a green screen. But I promise you, I am not. Let's see, other questions here. All right. As a remote producer, can we stream to our client's Facebook page directly from Ecamm Live? The answer is yes. However, you do need the right permissions. So usually you have to be added as an admin or manager on that page. Then you have to add the Ecamm Live app to that business page. Then Ecamm Live can see it and be added. Now, usually you just go to Ecamm Live and you go to destinations and you click on add. So for example, if I'm going here, if I go to Ecamm Live, in the destinations tab, if I went here and added a new destination, if I went here and added Facebook, then I can go ahead and add the Facebook page of my client, of their page, only if I actually have permissions to do that. So it might be, it usually gets attached right away or is there immediately. Sometimes it takes a little bit of finagling, but if you are made an admin of that page or a manager of that page, you will have no challenges getting onto that. So super, super cool question. Let's see some more comments and questions. I missed out what camera. Angelique, it's the Sony ZV-E10, and I'm using a 24mm f1.8 camera. And by the way, the f1.8, because I'm actually at around 5-ish feet from the camera, because of that f1.8, it gives that little bit of a soft blur in the background. So if people are looking for that blurry background, aka bokeh, if people are looking for that, then you need to get the right lens and also the right distance between you and the camera and the background. It's always 3 different things that you need to space out correctly. Because if I was actually right beside the wall, you can see here, while you can hear me clearly because I'm using a wireless headset microphone, if I'm actually standing beside the wall, there's no blur anymore, right? So you actually have to have distance between you and the background. So do keep that in mind. Yep, already answered that one right there. So that's good. Oh, I just ruined that scene. Okay. Sony ZV-10 24mm. Okay, George says, what's the best way to illuminate the background of your studio to avoid harsh lighting or shadows? Okay, that's a really good question. George, you have to understand the principles of light and how it works. So if you think of a flashlight, okay, if you had a flashlight right now and you turned it on and pointed it at somebody's face, they could be 5, 10, 15 feet away, it doesn't matter what it is. If you point that flashlight at their face, you'll notice it's very harsh light, very sharp shadows that appear. And that's because the light is concentrated. It's a tiny source of light. But if you look at somebody, let's say this sounds a little bit weird and stockish, but let's say you were standing outside my window of my house and it was sunny outside and you're looking at me through that window. You won't see any harsh light and harsh shadows or angles anymore because the sun coming through the light is acting like a big softbox. Flashlight, big softbox. So the larger the size and the source of the light, the softer the light will actually be on the subject. That's why I have this big 40+ inch softbox to my right side. That's why I have the key light, which is maybe only 12 by 14 or 15 inches. And if I brought that closer, it's going to be a very harsh light, but that's why I have it about 8 to 10 feet away from me to be able to cast a better stroke of a broad spectrum of light versus a very sharp one. So you want to make sure that your lighting is as large of a surface area as possible, and then you can light the areas that you're looking to light. Now, keep in mind, though, if you look at that light that I turned off on the back there, it is a little bit of a softer light, but I want it to be a little bit harsh. I want it to have that shadow or that vignetting on the background simply because that's the look I'm going for. I'm not looking to light up those dark areas or this side over here by the plant. I'm looking specifically to create this more of a glow in the center area, just because that's the kind of video effect or the sense of the look of what I'm looking for and what I prefer. So really good question. Lighting is super key. And obviously, when you have the right lights, you can turn even the crappiest of webcams into really good looking webcams. So do keep that in mind. However, as you know how to do your lighting, and then when you upgrade your cameras, then you're going to start to look at the different types of lenses that will help you achieve and accomplish the looks as well. So this lens here, I think is around 5 $400 to $500 for this lens. Now, the Sony ZV-E10 came with a kit lens. A kit lens means it's the one that comes in the package. It's usually the cheapest kind of lens that you can even buy for maybe $50. That kit lens is very good for general purposes, but you can't get this nice blurry background. There's going to be a little bit of automatic blurring around the edges at certain types of focal lengths as well. And the overall color is going to be a little bit off just because they use cheap plastics as their lenses versus glass lenses and so forth. So all these combinations help you to create good looking videos. Oh, by the way, it's not about the video though. It is also about the audio, because so right now I'm using a wired headset. If I go ahead and switch this to testing 1, 2, 3, now I've switched this to my broadcast microphone. Ooh, sorry, man, that's really loud. So this is now my Shure SM7B, which I use for podcasting or as a backup when my headset is out. So you can see here, I'm actually covering the headset now, and this broadcast microphone sounds a lot more bassy. There's a little bit less room tone happening. But if your audio sounds horrible, doesn't matter how good your video is. So focus on your audio, because imagine if I had this microphone over here. All right, so now what does this sound like? You can hear a lot of echo. It sounds like I'm distant. Video looks sharp. Video looks good. But would this be distracting for you or not? Right? Like your audio will always trump your video. So if you are on the journey of content creation, recording videos, live streaming, doing interviews or whatever, Zoom meetings, focus on your audio, and you will find that over time, it's like that is what is making the difference of what people are being able to hear and staying for your content, and then start to add extra lighting and upgrade your video from there. So make sure your audio is number one. Testing 1. All right, so I'm back. So really good questions. Love it. Oh yeah, Tech Talks. Oh, huge. Guys, if you are, this ended up turning into a tech thing. I don't know why, but it always does. And that's totally okay. Don't stop, folks. But Doc does Tech Talks, and what are they, Tuesdays? I can't remember what days they're on. But anyway, they're live Zoom calls, and you can answer or ask all of your tech questions as well. I love that side, so it's really good. Angelique, no doubt audio is important, 100%. What's going on, dude? Yeah, cool. Good to see you. Look at that. Look how many friends. Oh my gosh. Hi, John. John, you popular, super popular. All right, John says, hey, Angelique, welcome to the Ecamm fam. I also just started using Ecamm since are you kidding me? End of March? Wow, you have come a long way, my friend. I cannot believe it. That is phenomenal. Really proud of the stuff that you've done. I've been watching your channel and just following as much as I can and joining your lives, commenting. And so anyway, I love what you're doing. Really good. Keep on it. Keep at it. What is the cost of Ecamm? So the Ecamm Live is, let's see, do I have a screen share? Let me open up this one here. All right, so meet Ecamm Live. Let's go to the pricing tab here. Okay, so you've got a free trial, 14 days. By the way, if you go to ecamm.com/DANIELCHI, link is in the description below, and maybe we'll also put it in the comments here. If you are looking for a free trial, click on that link. That's going to take you to a page that will give you 15% off of your Ecamm Live first payment. So whether you are going for the standard or the pro and you pay monthly or yearly, you're going to get a discount. Actually, it's more than that, because you can save 20% on the year and then also an additional 15% when you use the link in the comments here. So for as low as, the pro is where I usually tell people to get. It's as low as $32 a month when you're paying for 12 months in advance. But you got to check out, look at all the extra features you get you get the ability to use Ecamm for Zoom. So you will need a separate Zoom subscription for that. But what that Ecamm for Zoom allows you to do is allows you to bring in guests from your Zoom meetings and calls so that you can quickly and easily do live collaborations or recorded collaborations. So that's always a cool and fun thing. Again, that's why I created that side-by-side scene. You can also use interview mode. If you don't want to use Zoom, you can use interview mode. There's no additional cost to that. On a yearly subscription, you get 250 yearly hours for your live interviews. That is the time that you bring somebody on. Or if you go month to month, then you're going to be getting 20 hours of interview mode hours. So that's pretty good. That's still 5 hours a week. It's not that easy to actually go that long. So, but then the biggest thing here is virtual mic and webcam. So you can see right there. The virtual mic and webcam is the feature that will allow you to use Ecamm Live and everything that you're doing inside of it to send that out as a webcam signal to whatever application you're using. So whether that is Zoom itself, or whether that is Microsoft Teams or Skype or Google Hangouts, right? As long as the application says, show me your webcam, tell me which webcam you want me to connect to, Ecamm Live can act as that virtual webcam, as well as the virtual microphone, meaning that not only is your audio going to be coming through from your microphone, but any sound effects. So for example, if I'm playing songs or music, which I already muted, hold on.
You get ready to groove, it's the tech savvy.
Right, that type of music can be played through your Ecamm Live into Zoom or into Microsoft Teams or into any of those applications. So I definitely think that the Pro subscription is the way to go. Obviously, these other items here are really, really good as well. So that's a really good question. I'm really thankful that you actually asked that question because, funny enough, I've done this many times. Not many people ask that. So very cool. Definitely get started on your journey. All right, let's see what other questions we got here. Live demo is every other Friday. Tech Talks is every other Friday. Oh, there we go. I'm sorry about that. Thanks, Paul. Here we go. Live demo is every other Friday. Paul, you missed the space between every and other. Okay, but that's all right. Let's see. I'm looking into Ecamm due to my podcast co-host moving, so trying to find the best remote program to go with. Oh man, I got to tell you, my business partner Brett has a very successful podcast, and he was using a different platform, two different platforms. One was Squadcast, and the other one was Riverside. Super popular applications, many benefits to using those. Don't get me wrong. I'm not poo-pooing on any other platforms. They are what they are. However, the editing process for a 45 to 60-minute podcast took him approximately 5 to 6 hours of video editing. Now, is that wrong? Is that right? Is that not? Is that whatever? It doesn't really matter. It is what it is. 5 to 6 hours for about a 1-hour podcast. But when I showed him Ecamm Live and how he could bring in the guests automatically, change the scenes in real time by simply hitting record, he would bring them in over Zoom and using Ecamm for Zoom. And all of a sudden, he shaved off, I think, that editing down to about 45 minutes for a 1-hour podcast. So you can do stuff like this with Ecamm Live and with ISO video and audio recording. Basically, it means that you can save independent files for each of your guests' videos as well as their audio tracks. It allows you to repurpose that content quickly and easily by not having to say, oh, well, the recording has both of us beside each other, but I want to focus on you. I don't know how to change that. Well, guess what? With ISO recording on Ecamm Live, now you can do that. Now you can have a separate video file of that guest's video, of your video, of the guest's track. So you can do a lot of cool things. So I highly suggest Ecamm Live for your podcast productions. Super, super good. I'm super excited, by the way, that you're getting started. So kudos to you. Let's see here. John, thank you for your kind words and support. So much to learn. Yeah. Oh, John, you're just killing it, man. Killing it. I have audio things I don't need because of John. You know, Angelica, John actually owns all of the companies that you bought things from. So, no, just kidding. He doesn't. Let's see here. My husband joins me for lives but doesn't sit close. I want to add a mic for him. What do you recommend I do? Well, it just depends on what kind of system and platform you're using. For example, sometimes my business partner and we will do live training programs, and sometimes we just sit here, 1 foot away from the mic, 1 foot, and we barely touching shoulders, so we're kind of like a foot and a half apart from each other, and we aim our mouth towards the microphone. Obviously, you'll know that doing something like that causes more of an echo inside of the room because the microphone is further from the mouth. So I think the answer really comes down to what kind of microphone do you have right now? And based on that, see if you can add a second mic of the very similar kind of, or maybe even the identical mic. Or if it's a microphone, for example, like a USB microphone, then you're just going to have to add another USB microphone. But if you're telling me that I have a shotgun mic, completely different game. We're going to have to add, some sort of an arm or another shotgun or whatever, because what you don't want to do is having to mix all these different types of technologies and connection solutions for these microphones, because number one, it's going to cause some headache and confusion for you when you're having to troubleshoot. But number two, also, it's like, how do you adjust them? How do you make changes to them independently? How do you do all that type of stuff? So if you're not already in the Ecamm Live Facebook community, I highly suggest that you do join that group because you can ask that question, and I promise you, you are going to, it's like sending out the bat signal, but it's the Ecamm Live logo, and like we all gravitate towards that, like, flies to bright lights, and a bunch of people will respond and ask questions to dive deeper. So yeah. Now, in terms of the microphone that I'm using right now, this is actually a Rode Lavalier Go lavalier mic attached to the Rode wired headset. It's just a wire that goes around your head and around your ears, and the lav mic just clips onto the end here. And then I have that attached to I have that attached to the actual transmitter. So, when I do more planning with my business partner, I actually have him wear this and I wear the other one, and both of our transmitters go into the one single receiver inside of on the Mac, and now both of us are heard regardless of where we're actually standing or sitting. So that's another option that you might want to consider. Let's see here. Sound check is now on YouTube too. Oh, nice. I didn't know that. That's cool. All right, Matt says, I've looked everywhere and couldn't find a solution to do TikTok live with Ecamm. I'm actually not a TikTok user, so I do not know how to use TikTok with Ecamm Live. But the question you want to find out, or the information you want to find out for TikTok is, can they receive an RTMP signal? So TikTok RTMP. Yes, so that's what you can definitely use RTMP connection for TikTok. So that's actually a really good thing. So essentially, all you're doing is you're going into Ecamm Live, and you are, here we go. You're going to go into Ecamm Live, and when you get into the preferences, go over to Destinations and click on the New Destination button. It's this side. This button here says RTMP. When you click that, you're going to be asked for a couple things. One is the nickname, right? And then a server URL, and you may need to add a key, a stream key, depending upon how TikTok works. I'm pretty sure it has a stream key. So once you add the server URL and the stream key, then you simply click add, and what's going to happen is now Ecamm Live can send that signal over a very specific protocol to your TikTok. However, again, I don't use TikTok, so I'm not 100% sure how on the other end the signal is received. So I'm sure there are people here that have used it and understand how to configure that. Let's see. John, is there free overlays or places to get overlays easy? There are a lot of different people inside of the Ecamm community that provide free as well as paid overlays and different scenes, as well as kind of like a whole graphics package. So, Luria over at livestreamingpros.com. If you go to her website and click on the merch link, she has some wonderful, phenomenal overlays and graphics that you can add. A lot of cool animated graphics that can pop up and little happy faces and emojis and different types of confetti as well. Like really, really awesome overlays. So livestreamingpros.com. That's Luria's website. That's great. Martin McKenna, stream. Ooh, Martin, I'm so sorry. I forgot your website, Stream Assets or something like that. But if you search up Martin McKenna Ecamm, ECAMM, you might be able to find his website. Or if you go into the Ecamm Live Facebook group, search up Martin and send him a DM and find out, or tag him and just say, hey, what you got for me? Okay, so that lot of people. And again, Ecamm Live, who else does it? I think Anna and Fulgens also do some graphics overlays as well. So we got a lot of people here. Anyway, let's see here. John says, I was on Google Meet with Ecamm Live. People always get puzzled when I share my desktop without needing to have them unshare first, right? And they're just like, wait a second, isn't that cool? Hopefully it's a good thing and they're not distracted and trying to figure out how you finagled that going. But more or less, they're wowed about, oh my gosh, this guy's got some real talent and is wowed and in awe of what you're actually showing them. So that's good. Angelique, what options in Ecamm for using an assistant or remote producer? Ecamm Live is really more for self-production at this time. So generally speaking, it's for you to do everything by yourself because it's easy to do. Now, there are remote productions, like I'm a remote producer as well. So I actually use my Ecamm Live and create live streams as well as recorded content by having my clients come in as a guest in my Ecamm Live production. Because really the difference between a remote production and a self-production is that in the remote production, you're just not showing your camera or making your voice heard. It's just showing the guest, right? So what I do is I create all of the different scenes and overlays, as well as we use PowerPoint. So as well as a PowerPoint screen share. And when my client comes in as a guest, I have them remotely control and use a certain application to be able to change my PowerPoint presentation. Now, could they run it on their side as well? 100%. But I usually like to make the job a little bit easier for my clients. So if you are doing a remote production with Ecamm Live, then you're still controlling it, but bringing that guest in. Now, if you're talking about an assistant or a remote producer that your is running on your Ecamm Live, like it's still on your computer system in Ecamm Live, other people really can't come in unless they're doing a remote desktop to connect and control your Mac. Or if there's somebody else in the office, you can attach multiple keyboards, multiple trackpads, multiple mice, and multiple Stream Decks as well to your computer system, so they can use that function of editing or changing things around in Ecamm Live. So different options. It kind of just a little bit of a workaround, but it's not meant for other people to easily, quickly control your Ecamm Live. Possible, but you got to use some workarounds. How many cameras can you record in Ecamm Live? I can't figure out why mine only recorded 2 out of 4 cameras. Okay, so Angelique, really good questions, by the way. Thank you for joining me today. So the answer to this is that you can record up to 3 local camera sources in Ecamm Live. So let's go out there and show you what that looks like. So you would obviously have to have multiple cameras connected. And then when you have those cameras connected, you're going to go to the camera switcher and you'll have what we have, like camera A, B, C. You can go D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. You can create as many camera placeholders that you want to. However, only A, B, and C can be recorded. So you can only record up to 3 of those sources. And you're going to configure that by going into Preferences, Recording, and you can see here, record all broadcasts. So everything that I'm doing inside of Ecamm and hitting record or live streaming is going to be recorded as it is. So you can see with my face on the one side and the placeholder on the other side here. And then this is the ISO recording that you're referring to. Only A, B, and C can be recorded. Now there's 2, maybe more, but there's primarily 2 reasons why you only got 2 out of the 4 recorded. The first reason is because camera A, B, and C, they must be assigned in the camera placeholders. The second tab here, you must assign each one those different positions. So camera A is my cam link. Camera B is my guest one, or whatever camera. Like let's just say it's your, there's my other cell phone. Okay, is another camera. Camera C is another camera. Then you go into the Ecamm Live Preferences tab, and you make sure that the camera A says this camera, that camera, that camera. You cannot at this time record the 4th camera. Now, I want to stress something very, very important, and you may already know this, Angelique, so it's not necessarily for you in particular, but your computer system is working very hard when you are live streaming and or recording. So the older your Mac, the more challenging it's going to be to use all the different features of like ISO recording. You see, when you're recording a video file, you have to encode that, and also your drive is running really hard to write these bits of data to the memory. And so by doing that, you're stressing the computer out a lot. So we actually had somebody recently ask, why can't I record a fourth camera? It's because your Mac's not going to do it. That's why. Your Mac just will not do it. Are there workarounds? Yes. However, you risk having errors. You risk corrupting your original files. You risk a lot of different things. So pick the 3 cameras that you want to record and then go from that side of things. Now, the workaround, if you want to know, is essentially you can use, let's say, for example, your camera, your phone. So if I added my smartphone as a camera source using a screen share camera, something like NDI HX camera or a Shoot Clean camera from Michael Forrest. If you use something like that, then you bring your iPhone in as a video source. You can... No, sorry, you can't even do that. Sorry, it has to be an external. Has to be external. Sorry about that. Yeah, you have to bring it. You have to bring the phone in as a Zoom guest or an interview mode guest. And when you do that, then you can actually use this here, interview and Zoom guests, and separate that. So if you bring that 4th camera in as that extra guest, even though it looks like it's a local camera, then you will be able to record that as a 4th source. So hopefully I've answered your question there. Let's see. Yeah, Facebook community. Go to ecamm.com/community. Request to get in there. Make sure you agree to the group rules. Lovely, amazing community there. Cool. Okay, a couple more questions, then I got to head out. All right, it says... what would the best option be for my co-host remote as far as camera and mic? What would be the best option for my co-host remote as far as camera and mic? In-house podcast, we were using Rodecaster Duo, so we're set in the house. Oh, okay. Your co-host, again, it just depends on budgets. It depends on many different factors. But what I talked about today in terms of lighting, the principles of lighting, make sure if you're looking for a very soft look, the biggest sources of lighting, the biggest surface area of the light for soft look. Most cameras will look fine inside of room lighting as long as there's ample room lighting. The one thing that you don't want is you do not want poor lighting, right? You don't want bad lighting, right? Like I'm trying to get bad lighting. I can't even get bad lighting here. But you don't want that because cameras are going to struggle really hard, and you're going to get that grainy kind of look when there's not enough light. So the more light you have, the less blurry the movements are going to be, and there's going to be little to no grain. So if you want, I actually have a video on. Let's see, I'm typing on the wrong keyboard. I actually posted a video about a remote guest kit that I send to clients, because at the end of the day, it's like if your clients don't look or sound really good, they might be a little bit upset at you. So what I do for a lot of them is I send a little kit, and the kit includes an Elgato ring light. It includes a tripod, and it also includes a wired lavalier microphone. And for the camera, I actually send an Insta 360 link. However, now I'm sending them the Insta 360 link too. So I'm just going to grab that. Remote guest is a good, best wireless headset, ultimate remote guest. Here we go. Okay. And no, hold on. Get shareable link. Okay. Where's my comments? I'm going to put that in the link here. So if you want, go ahead and look at that video. I kind of show you and explain to you what the kit is. And if you want, send that kit over to your client. It costs around $400 in total, but the quality is very, very good, and it's very flexible in terms of how you can operate it. So what I actually do is I bring my client in by Zoom, and using this PTZ camera you can either use OBSBot, you can use the Logitechs, you could use like in this one, it's the Insta360s. But when they come in as a guest in Zoom, you can request camera control, and then you can move the camera so that they are centered. So that's the nice thing versus telling them move over. So anyway, watch the video. It's all in there. Let's see. Rodecaster video can do 4 simultaneous ISO recordings at 12. Yeah, 100% it can. However, keep in mind, as awesome as that is, Ecamm Live only sees it as one camera source. So it's basically, this is an alternative to an ATEM or Blackmagic ATEM, ATEM Mini, ATEM Extreme, whatever that is, multiple camera inputs dedicated to what it's doing, and it does it extremely well. But Ecamm Live only ever sees one video source at a time. So just to keep that thing in mind. Somebody else had a question here. If you bring one of the cameras in as a guest, 100%, that's exactly what it is. Okay, why do you stream to restream instead of directly to the platforms from Ecamm? Well, Matt, the reason why I do that is because from a production perspective, you really want to stress your computer out the least amount as possible, because it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when something fails. As a producer, you have to understand that it's when something fails. And if I'm doing things that can be circumvented on my production computer, I'm going to do it. And so I use Restream to go out to the 1, 2, 3, well, not one, but 2, 3, 4, 5 different platforms, even though Ecamm Live can do it natively. But there's a cost to it. So I'm paying $30 to $50 a month for the Restream subscription. However, that $30 to $50 a month means that my computer system is not stressing out as hard. It means I'm not stressing my internet connection out as hard either. So if you are a creator or producer and you want to do live multi-streaming to different platforms, you can totally do that, but just keep in mind that your internet speed, your upload speed, not your download, your upload speed needs to be able to meet that. Now, inside of Ecamm Live, under the streaming tab, there is a little speed test here. So, for example, if I'm going to stream at 1080p, 60 frames per second, I'm going to need about 8.2 megabits per second upload speed. And it says my speed result test speed test is 174. So yeah, 8.2 out of 174 is a very small percentage of my upstream bandwidth, so this is completely fine. But what if I wanted to stream to 5 different locations? Okay, now I'm at 40 megabits per second over the 170. Is this healthy? Is this okay? 100%. However, I don't want to take the risk, because sometimes internet gets a little bit weird, where I'm at least, and by using Restream, I'm able to say, okay, I'm going to reduce the amount of chances of failure. So that's really the only reason why I use that. Okay, one last question. Where is it? Here we go. How do you pull in chats for the screen if you're using a stream key like Restream? Okay, so it's a really good question. Love pulling in the comments, but can't now that we're on multiple platforms. Okay, so if you're connecting Ecamm Live directly to Restream using the actual API or direct connection between Ecamm Live and Restream, Restream has the ability to bring the chats from whatever platforms it's connected to into Ecamm Live. So now Ecamm Live is simply waiting for Restream to send that chat comment. So now you need to go into your Restream destinations. And if Restream is connected by RTMP, that's a one-way connection. It's not a two-way signal. There's no communication really coming the other way. So your Restream is sending the video out, but it cannot listen to the other conversations in the chat because RTMP is just a video signal. There's no chat communication being able to come back. But if your Restream connection goes out to YouTube or to a Facebook page or to Instagram or to LinkedIn or to Twitter, those are direct connections through the API, the application programming interface between the platform and Restream. Then Restream can collect those messages and send it back. So I'm just thinking that if you're not able to get your Ecamm Live to see the chat coming in from Restream to the whatever platform or destinations, it's probably because either it's an RTMP connection or it's down. You know, I know that we've had situations where people's chats were just not coming in at all. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all enjoyed some of the quick, really basic training tutorials that I did. You know, the Ecamm demos are really about just how to navigate and use Ecamm Live. If you still are not using Ecamm Live, go ahead and click on the link in the description below. Also, there's an Ecamm Live masterclass that I have available as well. So if you searched my name online, you'd be able to, on YouTube, you'll be able to see my Ecamm Live masterclass, which walks you through the basic essentials of how to navigate through yourself through Ecamm Live. And then always come back every single Friday. We've always got content on Fridays, and also Anna and Fulgens and everybody else are always creating new and different pieces of content to help you to expand your knowledge, your experience, your journey through your content creation side of things, but also to have a little bit of fun. And speaking of fun, what I'd like to do is play this. All right, everybody, we're going to play this music out. I'm going to see y'all later.
Yeah, digital maestro in the house, check it, I'm the digital maestro, master of the flow. Take in my veins, watch the magic grow. With my fingers on the keys, I orchestrate the beat from the screen to the scene, bringing heat. Switching, mixing, fixing, making it right. Streaming, dreaming, beaming all through the night. Coding, loading, showing, making it tight. I'm the maestro, in control, taking flight. Digital maestro, conductor of the stream, turning tech into music, making dreams with my gear and my grind. I'm supreme, bringing visions to life, it's the ultimate dream. Check the level, set the pace, keep it smooth. Every frame, every bite in the groove. With my laptop, I'm the king of the show. Lights, camera, action, let it flow.